Welcome to our council and committee meetings this evening. I'd like to begin by thanking everybody for joining us tonight. It's a beautiful night out there. There's all kinds of activities that people could be up to this evening, and we really genuinely appreciate you coming to join us at our meetings this evening. So thanks everybody for being here. We're going to start off with the Finance and Environment Committee meeting. And as with all of our meetings this evening, there will be an opportunity for public participation. We encourage people to join us for public participation at the committee meeting or council meeting that your item of interest appears on the agenda for. If you're not sure which meeting that would be, feel free to come forward to any of the meetings and we can direct you to the appropriate meeting, and we welcome everybody for that. So, Finance and Environment Committee, do we have any additions or changes to the agenda? Moved by Councillor Kahakawila, seconded by Councillor Epp. All in favor? Opposed? That passes. We have no presentations for Finance and Environment Committee, so we have an opportunity now for public participation, specifically right now on items on the Finance and Environment Committee agenda. I would ask people to begin with their name and address and to confine themselves to 4 minutes for their public presentation so that we can hear from as many people as possible. All right, Bev?
Good evening, Bev Bacon, Metchosin resident. My letter is a pink, but I'd like to read it anyhow because I'd like the outgoing council to take an initial step on this so that...
Sorry, Bev, before we get going, is this the pink related to the CRD?
Funding, yeah.
Yeah, that's going to come up under council.
Oh.
Can you present that at public participation for council?
I will do that.
Thanks so much. So I'm seeing nobody else lining up at the microphone for public participation. We'll move on to adoption of minutes. Moved by Councillor Little, seconded by Councillor Kahakawila. Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Those are adopted. No minutes to receive, no business arising. Brings us to item 7A, the Metchosin Climate Action Plan, which is on pages 7 and 8 of your agenda package. This is an item that was initiated with PINA Sustainability. The recommendation here, it's recommended 3 steps. And that an engagement session be held this September, which is described above, where the PINA staff would sit down with council and appropriate staff from the district prior to public meetings, and obtain input from council and staff. So I will make the motion that we schedule that meeting in September between council and staff and PINA Sustainability, and leave it to staff to find a date that will work for everybody. That's seconded by Councillor Little. Discussion. Mayor Rance.
Yeah, I kind of think that, I don't know, this might be better to have the new council talk to them prior to the... I mean, you have been pushing this, Councillor McKinnon, and I certainly respect that you should be speaking to it. But at the same time, a new council will have a mandate. And And maybe we should have 2 meetings. One for us, where you get to express why you feel so strongly about this and what you would like to see it constructed as. And then a second one for the new council. So they can, if they have a different mandate, can reverse everything you said.
Yes, Councillor Kahakawila.
Actually, I was going to suggest the same thing, and for the same reasons. I think the context of what you've already brought to their discussions would be good to actually have that solidified, and then that information brought to the new council. It would provide context, and hopefully you'll still be around the district so that, if the new council has questions, they could always bring you in on a maybe an informational basis. But I do agree that this is something that the new council is going to have to address. But to lose the knowledge that you've already put into this, I wouldn't want to see. So it would be good to have that continuity between this current council and the next council.
So then you would be supporting, say, a meeting with this council and the next council, or?
I would say that we should look at getting a meeting together by the end of September. So probably between UBCM and end of September, and then bring a recommendation forward to the new council to have a subsequent meeting with PINA. Oh, okay. Can you hear me? Okay. So I would recommend that we have the meeting with us and PINA at the end of September, and then make a recommendation to the incoming council to have a subsequent meeting with the information from that meeting being brought forward sort of as an orientation for the new council and for them to move forward on a direction.
Councillor Little.
I somewhat disagree, because we did have a mandate this time. You've been talking about this for quite some time. We have a proposal from the consultant. I'd like to see a meeting in September, absolutely, Councillor Kahakawila, but realistically, it says here we're going to solicit community feedback and engagement. I don't see that there's enough time. Maybe there is, but I don't think there's enough time for the consultant to adequately address the community's concerns or questions. Although Mayran says they will have a mandate, we do have a mandate now. We're not doing nothing between now and October 15th. So I'd like to move forward a little bit farther than that. That's what I'm thinking.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Kahakawila.
Yeah, it's not about whether or not this mandate ends with this council or not. What I'm trying to do is, by having these 2 sets of meetings sort of preset, would be to make sure that we don't lose the institutional knowledge that Councillor McKinnon brings forward to this particular project that we've already started, and then that sort of springboards the next council into looking at it. I don't anticipate for a moment that the next council, whoever they are, aren't going to have to be dealing with climate action and the plan that we've already started. But I mean, that would be a decision that the next council makes, but we need to at least set up the next council for success, and to do that we need the information that we've already started to gather, and in particular with what Councillor McKinnon has already been working on with our planner and with PINA.
Yes, Councillor Epp.
Yeah, I agree with having a meeting for us and then a meeting for the new council, because we have already agreed to contract out this PINA to do this study and with all the surveys and so on they're going to do. So I just think, the more ideas the better, and the more consultation on just how we're going to address it, and that gives them some ideas to come back to the new council with and to add to.
Yes, Lisa.
Just to add some comfort with this, Catherine, our planner, is working directly with Councillor McKinnon, and there'll also be some history and corporate memory there. She'll be leading the file into the next council as well.
All right, so we have a motion on the floor then that we arrange that meeting for the end of September with this council, with a recommendation that that opportunity be offered to the incoming council as well. come out of it. I think that came from,
Well, you,
I think it came from Councillor Kahakawila, seconded by Councillor Little, I believe.
I think it was you, and then me, and then Councillor Kahakula amended that, a friendly motion.
Right, okay. Yeah, that's, so from me, amended by Councillor Kahakawila in a friendly motion, seconded by Councillor Little. All in favor? Opposed? And that passes. Thanks very much for that discussion. That's much better than the one I was proposing. The only other substantive item on our agenda this evening is our second quarterly financial report. These are items that used to just appear in councillors' folders and seem to be of interest to a broader range of people in the community, so we've begun to append them to these agendas, and I hope that the next council will continue the practice. So this is our quarterly financial report for our second quarter, accompanied for the first time by an excellent memo by Sulin Tarnowski. And the recommendation is simply that this be received for information.
move receipt.
Moved by Councillor Kahakawila, seconded by Councillor Little. Any discussion on it? I think I would characterize it by simply saying that there are no big surprises in our second quarterly report, that it's generally on track for where we expected budget 2021 to be, or 2022 to be, 2021 to be at this point in the year, and so far so good. All right, that is all the business on the agenda. I'll accept the motion for adjournment. Moved by Mayor Rand, seconded by Councillor Kahakawila. All in favor? Opposed? We are adjourned. Thanks, everybody.